Oh, great! Now we're not. Now we can't monetize this.
Yeah, great.
Damn it.
Thanks a
Because
lot.
it was that good. Is that what you're saying?
Shares gonna
Yeah.
be all over our ass.
Yeah.
Valley Towel Sports family, good evening. Welcome to the show. We are all back in our respective regular spots. I know for the holiday it got a little weird, but we're all here, finally back together. I know this is the first time we've all been together for what, a month and a half, 2 months ish.
Since
6 weeks or so at least.
yeah, since Halloween.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's been a hot minute. It has been a hot minute. So, boys, how was the Thanksgiving?
Exhausting.
Yeah,
But good.
ours is pretty good. It you know, when people decide to have liquid diets, it just results in interesting conversations.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's a boozy holiday.
Yeah,
I
It
drink
really
a lot
is.
Of bourbon.
It's just a long week of drinking, you know.
Real nice.
absolutely.
I listen to your guys' pod though. Look, I'll leave the green bean casserole alone, but in general, I just don't like Thanksgiving food, and I eat it 2 days in a row.
Interesting.
And I do 2 Thanksgivings.
It's a choice. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a reason we eat it once a year. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's indulgence. First of all,
Yeah.
everything is pretty
Tradition.
heavy carb laden.
Yes.
It wouldn't
Really
make
make it
sense
go
to
in.
have that as a regular diet. You would, in fact, die. And it's that's just, it would just be insanity to eat that on as a regular diet. Salad, not a Thanksgiving dish typically.
We
Fruit.
made and brought
It's
a
just
salad.
not
It was
just not a
never
dish
very well.
ever.
Cranberry
So-
sauce, not a fruit. Okay, you're not logging that in on the fruit section of your diet. There's not enough balance in there, Aaron. And as we know, the key to a happy life is a balanced diet, which is why I start my morning with Frosted Flakes every day.
I just started with a hot cup of coffee and
I do.
don't eat until the afternoon.
Coffee,
Yeah, I
couple
need
of darts, a nice steamy shit, and you're just ready to go.
Yeah,
In that order.
nothing gets the bowels working more than nicotine and caffeine.
Facts.
All right. So we've got a couple weeks of picks to recap. Obviously, we didn't get an opportunity to recap week 12, so I will go through it briefly.
Don't do 12, just 13.
Do what?
I said don't do 12, only do 13.
Oh no, we're gonna do 12. We're gonna do 12. I
Aaron's
mean,
like,
we got to show the low to
no.
show the high. So
Oh, there they are.
So seems to be a going trend. Week 12, Tez had the best record at 10-3. Quite a lot of us at 10 or 9-4. A few 8-5s, 6-7s, things like that. Aaron 5-8. Tough week for you, brother.
Took some
Um,
shots though, dude.
but-
Shouldn't hit.
But Aaron redeemed himself because last week he was perfect. But he was not the only one who was perfect.
Oh, who else was?
Joshua was perfect.
Oh, that's a smart guy.
Hey.
Here's the other
So-
thing too, though. 16-0, no buys. That's a big man's perfect.
That's a
Best
hefty
still
win.
possible. Yeah.
It's a hefty
Yeah,
win.
hefty
The,
win.
The closest, well, I mean, Tez did it earlier this year in week 6. He was 14-0, which is still impressive. But to do it
Two
with
less
16
games.
games, that's pretty solid. So this is the first year I think anybody's been perfect, and we've done it 3 times. Like
This is the 4th time.
was it the 4th time? Who else did it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant
He's saying
pick 'em.
fourth year,
I bet.
right?
4th
Yeah.
year pick 'em.
Yeah, 4th year of Pick'em. I just
Yeah.
meant this is the first time, like the
Yeah.
first year that we've had anybody perfect.
Anybody-
and we've done it 3 times.
Got you.
And
I'm
it's
with
been
you now.
3 different people. So it's not like it's
You know
been
what I
Get that chat.
I'm having a terrible round of golf right now. Just miserable. This has not been my year.
You just
Yeah,
birdied
step
a
up to-
par 3.
Yeah, so I stepped up to that par 3.
I was gonna say he
Knocked
sank
it
one
in
from the
table.
fairway, like a knockdown 100 yards.
Yeah,
like,
that's an Albie right there.
Chip in on a par 5.
It's a
Absolutely.
legit eagle.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well done.
These are the weeks that keep you coming back.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll be back.
Yeah, it was hole 18 for sure.
Yeah.
I'm getting this golf thing down.
Absolutely. But realistically,
Good things
everybody
happen
had a
when you just
phenomenal week last week. The worst record last week was 13-3.
Who was that?
So 2 people, Ryan and Mr. Gottschall.
Oh, that's good news for us.
Yeah. So
Bad news.
So yeah, Aaron and Josh led the way at 16-0. We had Tez, Ariel, and Mr. James at 15-1. Myself and Pops were at 14-2, and then Todd and Ryan were at 13-3. Todd, I picked up some ground on you over the last 2 weeks. I got 2 back in week 12, and I got a game back last week. So I'm only down 7 now instead of 10. Your lead is dwindling.
I also want to say something real quick from last week that I missed.
Yeah.
I feel like I put a lot of work and effort into just some fantastic Thanksgiving puns, wordplay, and I maybe you guys were just hammered before Thanksgiving, but I just feel like,
oh, dude, we were fucking smashed. Also, I wasn't reading your picks, so
I was.
Yeah.
Drop the ball there.
Corey. We were pounding last week.
I watched. It was great.
I'm just a man.
I was like, I want to see if they like my puns, and then they're like, what a fucking idiot.
But you know what I found out is that I actually got your picks for last week in my note on my phone because I guess it's a shared note now. So it's updated.
I sent it that way, so that's funny actually.
So I got you. I realized I got your updated picks, which was nice.
Oh, I gotta quit putting bad shit in there.
I almost lost the sheet for last week. I couldn't find it, but I did find it. Yes, but. Yeah, it took me a little bit to find it and get everything updated, but everything's here. We're ready to rock and roll. You guys have any big takeaways from last week?
Last week is too far away for me, but go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, I just think it's crazy that a team that's, ranked in the top 5 can continue to lose to a program with no offense. I understand this is an NFL podcast, but it's really funny that you can throw for less than 100
Ohio
yards.
State. You're talking about Ohio State.
Here's the thing, guys. I love spending time with my family. I like drinking beer. I like having conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I love when Ohio State loses at home to Michigan.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That is a top 3 feeling.
Rivalry week fucking got my dick hard. It was
and I'm over here just, oh God, oh no, Ryan Day needs to be fired. Oh, they kept running the ball. Stop making fucking excuses and win close football games.
Do you have a lot of Ohio State
Michigan
fans in your family?
I mean, they beat them pretty astoundingly for like a decade. It's
one thing I will
but not
say,
in the last 4 years.
Pops is a diehard OSU fan, and I'll tell you what, he took it like a champ. Like,
here's the thing, Aaron, is
I anticipated.
I have a pretty short-term memory, and it's only like a post-COVID memory for Ohio State football, and I think they're 0-4 since COVID happened. So, so really, if Buckeye fans want to blame it on somebody, they can blame it on Governor DeWine.
Further evidence.
No, here's the thing.
Did in fact put us into an alternate universe.
Yeah, stop the spread of dubs. I'm about as on the fence of an Ohio. Like, again, root for him. Do not care. I was over it. I'm really not though. Comparatively to like how people are freaking out, I was over it before. I watched the game in a fucking car, dude.
Well, then in the last 14 years, you have, which is a fucking wild statement to say, Aaron. Yeah, we've known each other 14 years. That's fucking ludicrous.
Wild, yeah. Yeah, I was definitely more of it in college.
You've regressed.
I very much regressed. Yeah. Part of it was being at Bowling Green for longer and being like, actually, this is the school I should be rooting for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I came to Bowling Green as an Ohio State fan, like in high school as a kid, grew up around it. It's left my system. I just don't care. Because you want to know what my hot take of the week is? It's too much, guys. It's just like Thanksgiving food. You're just throwing gravy on all your days. You got Thursday, you got Black Friday, you got rivalry week Saturday. So I'm sorry, dude. By the end of it, I'm zonked. Exhausted.
I didn't watch any of the Black Friday game.
And then I had Monday night for the Browns game. Like, that's a game I'm obviously going to watch. I would have probably skipped it if it was like Giants Eagles or something, but because it's my team. Like, I had, dude, every fucking day from Thursday to Monday.
I didn't watch an ounce of that Chiefs game. I had to get up early on Saturday. I just didn't care. So,
Oh, it was on in the back.
Like Big Dog. You guys have any
Friday
other?
can be a break.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other takeaways from Week 12, or you just want to go ahead and dive into? Or I'm sorry, Week
Outside
13?
of NFL, real quick before we get into it, I would just say college basketball is, we're hitting the stride, as we wrap up out of conference play right now. And I will just tell you this: one overarching takeaway from college basketball. We said it last year. I'll say it again this year. It continues to be the best product in sports. It's not close. College basketball is the best product in sports in terms of level of competition, in how the level of playing field is equal across the board. It's fantastic. The quality of play is not as good, but I will say that it is pretty good, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, let me give you an example. Alabama, North Carolina played a basketball game on, Todd, was this Wednesday night?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night? Was?
No,
Anyway.
Wednesday night, because Kentucky played on Tuesday night. So
it's Wednesday night. Probably the sloppiest basketball game I've ever watched. North Carolina is terrible. They can't make free throws. They turn the ball over. Alabama is a sloppy run and gun basketball team as well. But nonetheless, there were a myriad of other games. Creighton taking down Kansas. Duke Auburn was electric. That game was nuts.
Cooper Flagg's the real deal, boys.
Could be a Utah Jazz player next year.
That kid's good.
Outside of that, Florida's 9-0, so that's pretty fucking.
9-0 now.
Yeah,
they'll be in the top 10 after this week's over.
Yeah.
That win Saturday.
Florida doesn't play Saturday; they play next Saturday.
Oh, I thought they.
Yeah, they got a full week and a half off. Yeah,
they'll probably crack the top 10. A lot of top 10 losses this week.
Guess what? Kentucky doesn't have to go to Gainesville this year, thanks to Oklahoma and Texas. Nope, they do not play in the O-Dome. Getting lucky there, Toddy.
Interesting.
But yeah, a lot of great. There's a really good game on Saturday. If you haven't gotten into college basketball yet, I totally get it. Really good one on Saturday, kicking things off at 11:30. Kansas State, St. John's at St. John's. Going to be a great two unranked teams, but yet it will speak to the quality of college basketball as a whole. It's going to be a really fun game to watch. Check it out. Let's do it.
Excellent. Cool. Well, obviously we're a little bit later than we usually are. We usually kick things off for the week on Wednesday. It's Friday, so we actually have a game that we can talk about that's pretty recent. So Packers-Lions were on last night. Another close one that the Lions pulled out. Everybody here had the Lions last night, so good win overall for the squad here. Dan Campbell's electric, boys. Todd and I were talking about this a little bit earlier today. Todd, you made a point that was really, I thoroughly enjoyed. You said he's not the best coach, but he's the best leader. And you just kind of want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so I think when you look at – there's a lot of very good head coaches in the NFL, right? Like, I think Kyle Shanahan's a really good head coach when it comes to the technical aspects of football. But I think where Dan Campbell kind of comes into play, that's a different type of good coach, is that there's a lot of practice what you preach in Detroit, right? Like, I think that's a big thing. And, it's goofy. He says some weird shit, but he's got everybody bought in. The message is really consistent, and he celebrates wins appropriately. Right. When he's giving a post-game speech, it feels very genuine. There's a lot of times, like, I think Kevin O'Connell, to me, seems like when he's doing his post-game, when he's in the locker room, it seems almost rehearsed. Right. Whereas when Dan Campbell gets in there, it feels very raw. It's natural.
Zach Taylor.
Everybody's very excited. Yeah. Right. I didn't want to bring him up, but I think 3 of the 4 coaches in the AFC North that's kind of the way that it feels like in post-game for them. I'll let you guys think of who the 4th one is. I just like to see where you guys go. But
who's the Mount Rushmore?
Yeah,
Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin's pretty genuine.
And that's
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. So I look, Dan Campbell. Obviously, the Lions are the most followed football team right now. But if you're in the situation that 3 of the 4 of us are in, where the playoffs are basically out of the picture or essentially out of the picture, following the Lions feels comfortable. It feels safe, and Dan Campbell's a good person to follow along and listen to him talk, right? Universally.
Let me say this. I'm with you. I want the Lions to win the Super Bowl this year. I want it to happen. When that happens, if that happens, I'm done. I'll be tired of it. I will have Lions fatigue, and I'll be finished with it. And I will be rooting against them because they'll be at the top, and I don't want them to be at the top anymore.
Sure.
You're at the top. I want my team at the top. You don't have an underdog story when you just won the Super Bowl.
Right.
It goes away. It goes away.
It helps that they're in the other conference, though.
It sure, but I won't want to.
I think it'll have a longer burn.
I once you win the Super Bowl, you lose the underdog. Yes, come on, please win. Do it for all of us. It's gone.
Yeah,
it's gone away. The next team that gets it would be Buffalo. That's America's Super Bowl. Buffalo versus Detroit. That's America's
odds-on favorite, I believe.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
it'd be good.
They're playing some damn good football right now, both of them.
Lot of football left, boys. And let me just say this: one more quick thing on the lines before we start picking games. Eerily similar to the 21 Bengals team. Eerily similar, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. Very, very banged up across the defense, finding ways to win, emotional wins. It's eerily similar. And at the end of the day, the reason why the Bengals didn't host the Lombardi and the Rams did is because the Rams were a healthier unit at the end of the season. They had all their horses in the stables.
I don't know, man. I think coaching's got a big part to do with that, and I like Dan Campbell a lot more than Zach Taylor.
Well, I think it's easier to like Dan Campbell more than Zach Taylor. I think he's got a more competent front office, but I would say that we can talk about Zach Taylor when we get to the Bengals for sure. I think we'd be silly not to.
Yeah. I mean, personally, Dan Campbell runs circles around Zach Taylor, and that's just where I stand.
I think it's a very easy claim to make. I'm not going to fight you.
Ben Johnson too as an offensive coordinator, obviously would be the most sought after coach in free agency.
What about Aaron Glenn?
Huh?
I'm hearing more Aaron Glenn buzz than I am Ben Johnson.
Yeah, same girl. Sure. That's what I've been hearing too.
Okay, 1A, 1B maybe. I mean, he certainly had job offers last year, chose to come back, which, at the very least, you have a plus coordinator, somebody who a team was willing to hire. And he comes back. That's certainly an asset. And I think we talk all the time about in the NFL coaching making the biggest difference across any of the major sports. And I just, be remiss to not mention that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's kick things off. Get a little spicy with it. We've got an AFC North rematch.
Just to calm things down, guys. Nice Ryan, guys. A little Juicy Truth.
Juicy Truth is the GOAT, dude. It's so good.
Never had it?
It is an excellent choice.
I'm serious.
Have I ever had Juicy Truth?
No, I'm saying I have never had it.
Oh.
This is my
first time.
We always have
first one.
Yeah. We always have the truth.
Please enjoy that first sip, sir.
And I saw
get a sip
sitting next to it, and I was like, that's like asking, do you want Tylenol or extra strength Tylenol? Like,
go on,
give me extra strength.
Let's watch
absolutely all day.
Yeah.
But this time we got the Browns taking things on the road to Pittsburgh. Corey, I'll let you lead this one off. Who you got?
I love Cleveland to cover this. I love Cleveland to cover this spread. 7 points even with a push. Yes, give me Cleveland +7 all fucking day. That said, I would be a lunatic to take the Browns in this one. The Steelers playing at home. I think we've all kind of just been sitting here lamenting in what's happening in Pittsburgh right now, but we need to just respect game at this point. I think it just makes a whole lot of sense to just call it what it is. In the surprise of the year are the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think that anyone else had this team where they are right now I think we all thought that they would be competitive, but I don't think it was to this extent. I don't think that
we
they
keep
were gonna,
rooting for the under, but even when we do that, we're like, but they'll
yes,
probably be 9-7. So it's like yes and
Right.
no.
yeah, but they're not going to be 9-7. This team isn't going to be 9-7
But do you feel differently about this Steelers team than other years
or
past?
9-10 or
in the
I'm
sense
sorry,
of
9-8.
10-7. Sorry, yeah.
I'm confident they're going to get out of the first round. So in that sense,
You know
I
what?
still can,
If it's a home game, yes.
Yeah.
Because they consistently just have proved me wrong all year. Because if you ask me like gun to my, do you trust Russell Wilson? No, I don't. I don't at all. But yet continue. What did I say even last week? The moon ball. Slayed with it last week. The moon ball was all, you call him fucking Neil Armstrong. This dude is all over with it. Run game was non-existent last week, but yet Russell Wilson led that team, had literally a career game. Why Lou Anarumo is breathing in Cincinnati right now makes no sense to me. We'll talk about that later, but I would be crazy not to take the Steelers right now. You can't not take them against an inferior team on paper, which the Browns, unfortunately for Cleveland, they are. Love Jameis. Can't wait for all the sound clips, but I'm taking the Steelers.
Sure. Todd.
Yeah, I think Cleveland blew their wad in the first matchup against the Steelers a few weeks ago. Right, like it's a home game. You got to beat Pittsburgh at home. Jameis played very well.
I missed a point real quick. I'm sorry, Todd. Sorry to interject. One thing. I know I'm the worst, dude. I really am.
I'm so fucking sick. And go ahead.
I'll have a call to apologize later. The one thing I forgot to mention: the Browns do have the boys in the secondary to hang with Pittsburgh, which the Bengals don't. Let me just put that out there. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, I'm playing the split odds here, fellas. Cleveland wins at home against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh wins at home against Cleveland.
Yeah.
So something I will note that I noticed in Pittsburgh's defense last week, and this is a real legitimate thing. Like they did face probably the best
quarterback
offense in football. Yeah. And gave up 38 points, but shit ton of pressure. Obviously, Cleveland's offensive line is still kind of going through the woes. Alex Highsmith's back this week, which I think is an important thing. And another thing to note from Pittsburgh's defense is I think you could make an argument that they had the best second-round pick in Peyton Wilson in the draft. Peyton Wilson moves laterally as good as any outside linebacker in the NFL, edge rusher or not, whatever his position may be. Him moving sideline to sideline and watching that game, it's a very specific skill set that he has, and it seems pretty raw. And he's in the right spot to be able to develop on that. I don't think Russell Wilson will throw for 414 yards. But I think this will kind of be a similar. This will be a back and forth game. A lot of points on the board, though. I could see it being another pretty decently high scoring game.
Gotcha. Aaron.
Yeah, I think everyone makes some really good points. I guess I'll just touch on the Browns piece of it because that's the thing I can easily talk to. Jameis has been really interesting on the Browns because, I don't think this team is not better than last year. The offensive line is obviously consistently worse, of course. They're working Nick Chubb back in, and it's sad to say, but like he's just not the same guy he is. I'd love to see him with a full off season of being healthy. That's a lot of white wine.
Oh boy.
Got the little Chardonnay.
Distracting amount of white wine. We're on
bottles open. It's going to be gone. This is a Lake Erie table wine, fellas.
We're basically just a couple bitches sitting around the table playing bridge. God damn, and I couldn't be in a better place. But no, I like this is exactly what you want a bad team to look like. It's fucking fun to tune in and watch again. Like win, lose, or draw. I'm actually at this point that we're out of it. I just want to tune in, watch entertaining football because I'm going to watch them each week because that's what I do. Jameis Winston threw for a franchise record yards on Monday night against the Broncos, who have been a the best defense in the league all year. And he threw 6, almost 7 touchdowns. I don't care. I'm not going to tell you whose team it was for, but damn, was that entertaining.
You know what's funny? That last pick that he threw that they almost brought, if the Broncos would have scored that touchdown, I win my fantasy game by a point, and I'm still in. Like, I'm
Jerry
still in
Jeudy,
it. I got
baby.
kicked out because the Broncos
Right.
didn't house that. So
Yeah.
it was a little butthurt.
Yeah, I like read that game perfectly. I just did the Jerry Jeudy touchdown and Denver defense to score a touchdown.
Oh, I also
I knew
got
James
crushed by
was gonna
Jerry
be-
Jeudy.
So
235 yards. Is that
yeah,
right?
I knew he was chirping all week, and
I was up
"Endgame,
60
dude. You
points
asked me to trade it."
going into that week, and then Jerry Jeudy happened, and I lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be a division game. We see this. It's always gonna be weird, but I think Todd kind of said it right there. It's take the split odds here. I think the Browns had an admirable win. We're bottoming out this season, but it's always nice to take the Steelers down with you when you can. But it's gonna be the Steelers at home, and also I'm gonna bet some money on this one. I know TJ Watt's going to be revved up to play this. In the same way, Todd, how you were talking about for the last 2 weeks, I've just been throwing grenades in the group chat of like, yeah, TJ Watt fucking sucks, dude. He can't even get any sacks. It's basically exactly how you were describing, just describing Michigan over Ohio State, because for the last 2-3 years, all I've heard Steelers fans talk about is, well, he has more sacks. I don't watch I guess that's all that matters. It's always in the stats. And it was so goddamn rewarding to actually see that happen on the field where Myles Garrett just goes off on him. But I'm going to take the reverse on this side and bet TJ Watt gets a sack or 2 here. Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers. Easy.
Yeah, Todd, you alluded to it earlier. We're getting Alex Highsmith back this week. Obviously, Peyton Wilson had a phenomenal game. Like we've got Highsmith, we've got Peyton Wilson, we've got Herbig, and TJ Watt. That is a lot coming at you, and obviously Cam Hayward had one of the best games that he's had in the last couple of years. He just
I didn't even talk about how great of a game he had.
He looked so
unbelievable.
dominant. Like he just whatever
Made
he
Alex
wanted,
Cappa
he got it.
bitch.
And man, that was so much fun to watch Cameron Hayward last week. Maybe not for you, Todd, but definitely for me. It was a very enjoyable experience. Yeah, that being said, Aaron, you hit the nail on the head. I think TJ's in for a big game. And if it's not going to be TJ, then it's going to be somebody else, because at the end of the day, they're going to have to try to plan for, one or two of these guys, but they're not going to be able to cover up all four. And
their offense has adapted a lot better under Jameis to get the ball out quick. Which has negated a little bit that porous offensive line, quite frankly. So if they can get the ball out in 2 seconds, you can only sack them if you give them time to.
Yeah.
Boy, I hope they game plan around that, because you're right. They'll have an easy day.
Yeah. So I mean, I really honestly feel like this is going to be like similar to the Bengals Steelers game last week, where the Steelers are okay with giving up some plays as long as they can provide that constant pressure every single drive, and make Jameis make mistakes. Make him think quickly. Obviously we saw him do that last week, threw for a ton, but made a ton of mistakes and ultimately cost him the game. So, I'm taking the Steelers here. Should be a fun one. It can't be discredited at how much fun Jameis Winston is to just watch. Every week there's something else that you can quote and just clip. That's going to be great to watch in the years to come.
Yeah, and he continues to buy himself. I was just going to say he continues to buy himself another year in the NFL too.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
I think that's so. If I'm going to get on like a full season takeaway, there's at least 4 quarterbacks this year that have bought themselves another year in the NFL. Right? Guys that we've honestly, I mean, I discredited Jameis Winston right after this year. I was like, well, he's had a good run. Let's get him on TV. Right? That's kind of where I saw him at. It should be great. Or on a podcast, something. He needs to be in the public spotlight.
Church.
Yeah, sure. I'll go to that church.
Watch the Righteous Gemstones, like a giant mega church of Jameis.
Yeah, I could see him preaching.
What about him in an episode of the Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah.
My
would
brother
be
and I
like
had
when
that
Macaulay
conversation a
Culkin
couple
shows
weeks
up and
ago.
you're like, what? No way.
Yeah, my brother and I talked about that like 2 weeks ago. I was like, what if he was in an episode and it was just him and Adam Devine were both youth pastors and just going at it? It'd be fucking awesome. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I think that's been kind
Who
of
are the
really
other three
last
quarterbacks that you said? You said there was 4.
I want to guess. Sam Darnold is one of them.
Yep.
Honestly, shot in the dark, but random poll here. I think Bryce Young.
I had not thought of him, but I could say 5 now. That's a good one though.
Because you could argue that after this year, it's like, well, nobody's. It's
Yeah, he's a backup. He's traded something, right? So you got 2.
Okay, 2. So then let's go. Gino.
Yeah,
no, he's
one
already
more.
Oh, yeah, okay. Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson got himself an opportunity to either stay with Pittsburgh one more year and they draft a quarterback, or go somewhere like Tennessee and, make him duke it out with Will Levis or something. I could see Sam Darnold going that direction too, but yeah, so that's my 4.
Listen, guys,
I think very similar.
I got 17 picks in a row. I got all 4 of Todd's and got him to agree on an extra 5th.
That's a good. I don't think of Bryce Young because I'm thinking like, well, he's got 3 more years no matter what, or 2 more years no matter what. But
I thought there was going to be like one trick in there. Yeah.
No tricks, all trades.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just interesting to watch over the last 2 years. These guys, like even Flacco, for example. Whoa.
There we go.
Even Flacco, for example, just like buying himself another year and being a good backup in the NFL last year. Baker getting himself a contract extension. Just small things like that. We're seeing that happen year over year of guys that, Sam Darnold was basically thrown away going into this season. Russell Wilson, to me, I was like, this is an abomination to the NFL that he's going to get the opportunity to start for an NFL team again after the last 2 years. But it makes good stories. Right. It makes for good stories in the NFL.
I also think it causes people to pause a little bit now where we used to throw people away. Like honestly, Bryce Young's a good example where I really was. I was like, no, I've seen Gino, I've seen Sam Darnold. I'll stop doing that a ton, but this guy for sure is crap. And then immediately it's like, it's crazy. I think we really do got to let these simmer a little bit more.
Yeah.
Imagine like who was like Drew Lock, for example. In 2 years, could he have a moment? Maybe. I doubt it. But after everything I've seen, Zach Wilson would be a crazy example that is surprisingly not far off.
Yeah.
Jets are just as bad with Rodgers as they were with Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're worse.
Worse, actually.
Maybe he has a Sam Darnold moment in 2 or 3 years. I could see it.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Aaron Rodgers might just complete the cycle and go to the Vikings. That would be amazing.
Did you guys see the trailer to his fucking Netflix thing?
No, yes. I don't even care. I really don't care.
For a guy that said that you would never see him ever again outside of football, he's such a fucking liar about that. He'll figure out a way to just claw his way, keep his way on some sort of screen.
Here's a good rule of thumb: if anyone ever says you'll never see me again, you're gonna see that motherfucker.
You'll see him.
Yeah, absolutely.
His ego's too big. His ego's too big to go away. He feels like he's needed.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's move on here. Next game on the slate, we have got the Saints on the road taking on the Giants. Probably won't be tuning into this one, boys.
Drew Lock revenge tour. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, he played so bad though. He played so bad on Thanksgiving.
I know.
It was horrible.
Wasn't good.
I think maybe Bobby, you and I talked about it, is like, how do you pass him to go to Tommy DeVito? I think I kind of saw.
I kind of know why. I think it's they're trying to, like, at this point they're trying to lose, and with Tommy DeVito you can probably sell more tickets than Drew Lock.
Yeah, it's a Tankarooski.
It's a Tankarooski, but at least the fans are like, yeah.
Yeah. You still sell jerseys
and aprons.
Sorry, Tez coming in the comment. I was reading it. Saying Wilson didn't have horrible numbers last year. Sean Payton is an asshole. And if my team doesn't win the whole thing, I hope the Steelers meet the Broncos in the playoffs and smash them. He treated Wilson like crap. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, well, yeah, but also look at what Russell Wilson is doing. Maybe Sean Payton is an asshole. I just assume so, right? Everything that you've seen of him, he's kind of a dick. But what I'm kind of alluding to is that Russell Wilson was more out the door than in the door going into this year.
I
Right?
completely agree.
I'm not
with
saying that he didn't play. I didn't say that he played good or bad. I'm just saying that he was more out than in, and now he's given himself an opportunity to be in for one more time.
Like
That's it.
I
I'm not
was
saying-
literally on here saying like, why are we switching to Russell Wilson? Like when we've got Justin Fields. Like, and that wasn't an opinion that I just shared. Like there were a lot of people like that were in agreement with that. Like, let's let the kid ride. Like, let's focus on our future. And then Russell Wilson steps in and just takes over. And he throws one of the best deep balls I've ever seen. It's
that
perfect.
float, dude. That float's perfect. Also, Tez, I've been drinking, so don't like call me
It's
out for
Friday
stuff.
night, baby. We're
Yeah,
having
like
fun.
relax.
Yeah, it says the
Relax.
ladies are drinking wine, so I'm just here as a babysitter
Relax.
and emotional support.
I'll cry at some point. Relax.
My quick take on this, though, is Sean Payton has done a very good job in Denver. That team we all thought was going to be not where they are right now. They're a legitimate playoff content or playoff team. So I just think it's a personality disorder there where it's, listen, guys, Russell Wilson's about as fake as it gets. And that has nothing to do with his football ability. But I think Sean Payton is a very traditional down the nose football guy. Mike Tomlin, I think, presents himself that way, but he's dealt with Le'Veon Bell,
Antonio Brown.
he's dealing with Pickens now, Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool, like Juju, whatever. We're just naming
Mike
receivers.
Wallace.
Harrison. Yeah. But like for him, this is like fucking daycare compared to what he's used to.
Yeah,
So
Bo
I-
Nix.
Yeah, right. Well, no,
Yeah.
I'm saying for Mike Tomlin.
Oh,
Like-
Tomlin.
Like,
yeah.
like Wilson's personality is like, whatever, play with your toys. I don't care. I don't have to deal with that shit. Like we're now, I don't know. I just think there was a mismatch of personalities where Wilson is going to thrive more in Pittsburgh. I don't think it means Sean Payton's necessarily an asshole. I just think he's more of a dictator type coach, and it works when you have a young quarterback who's going to fall in line.
Fair enough.
Good point.
All right.
Very good
Well,
point.
yeah, I agree. Great assessment there, Mr. Mailing.
It's the wine and now the juicy truth.
Okay. So with the juicy truth pick, who do you have in the Saints versus Giants?
It's just a numbers game. I'll take the Saints. I don't know that I can bring myself to pick the Giants. I'm trying to think of an opponent where it would be even interesting. The Raiders, maybe. I'll just take the Saints.
Yeah, I'm on board with you, man. I can't believe in anything the Giants are doing right now. They're a bad football team. They're tanking. I'm just gonna take the Saints as a safe play.
Sure.
Yeah, Saints are at least still trying, even though they have nothing to play for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be tanking. They're just in a salary cap nightmare, and they're still trying to put together a 7-9 season and draft in the middle of the draft. I don't know.
I respect
They
it.
fired
though.
their head coach.
Absolutely
It's
respect
the
it.
Hawks theory.
Tez, we're obviously diving back into the whole Russell Wilson thing. I don't get the fake comment. What you see in him is who he is, and he has been that way since college. He doesn't try to be someone he isn't, and I can respect that.
Maybe a cyborg. Maybe cyborg.
Let me rephrase it. Fake. I think fake is my take from Tez. I'll fully admit, like I'm a pretty cynical person. I'm not saying that who Russell Wilson is or who he believes he is not authentic. I just find it to be very calibrated,
Over the
thought
top.
out. No, I think he acts a certain way that he thinks he wants to present himself as, rather than him naturally being this guy. Jameis
Sure.
Winston, for instance, I think that's really who he is. And I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing, or one personality is better than the other one, but one seems a little bit more authentic, even though crazy. All right, as opposed to like I don't know. Russell Wilson seems very calculated. This is what my business manager told me to do. This is like I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way, but it comes across as fake to me.
Yeah.
Not that he is a fake person.
Tez, I'm not even going to dive into that. You're absolutely right, and he's already cost us quite a bit.
Should have been ejected on Sunday for what it's worth.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I don't understand why he was still allowed to stay in the game, but yeah, it is what it is at this point. It's over. Can't change it. So,
did you see what he said about Greg Newsome going into this week? That was who he was jockeying with during the Hail Mary.
I did not see what he said. What he say?
Well, he was just like, basically some question about what do you think about the matchup with Greg Newsome this week? And he's like, I don't know who that is. And it's like, all right, dude, yeah, you're gonna get shut down.
Either that or he's gonna get lit up. One or the other.
I'm taking the under on Pickens, the over on Warren. He always lights us up.
There you go. All right. Let's move forward here. Tez, I don't think I saw your pick for this game. If you could throw that in the chat, that would be excellent. We've got the New York Football Jets, gross, on the road taking on the Dolphins. So I would assume we're all taking the Dolphins. Does anybody have anything fun to say about this one?
I'm taking the Jets.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a division game. Division games are always weird. I think Aaron Rodgers I heard somebody make this theory and it convinced me. The whole trailer that we were just talking about of the Netflix thing. I think that was intentional. Like, this is when it was going to come out, and they thought they were going to be good. And the way that came across looked like it was me, like, yeah, the redemption arc of Aaron Rodgers. It is so fucking funny if these guys are terrible, and that after watching that, it would be hilarious. I think he's going to try hard. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to try really fucking hard to come across as good in this game. And it's a division game, and the Dolphins sometimes stumble.
Okay, fair enough. Todd.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins.
That's where I've landed. I'm also taking the Dolphins.
So I think the interesting thing now is that the Dolphins are kind of in a position where
you did, Tez. That's my bad.
They're kind of cruising back into the wild card conversation, right? Like, if something happens in the AFC West and one of these two teams starts sliding, like, or even Baltimore, who knows what could happen, right? Somebody gets cold on this back quarter, and the Dolphins continue to play well, like, they could get into a wild card spot. And it would be very interesting to see the Dolphins in the wild card with Tua as a quarterback. I think that would be an interesting thing to see to kind of finish to round out this year. It's low percentage wise, but they're kind of hot right now. Like, they're offensively, they're playing good football. They're banged up on defense, but this is a good opportunity. Like, I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm at a point now where I'm just tired of Aaron Rodgers. Like, I'm just tired of it, man. Like, I got to see him on Pat McAfee. I love the Pat McAfee show. I don't watch on Tuesdays because I know he's going to be on there.
Now where I kind of wait for it's like how Saturday Night Live is for me now, where I'm like, I'll wait for the clips.
Yeah,
not Aaron Rodgers, but like the show in general, because like I used to like it a lot, and it's just kind of, I don't know, but I'm like, I'll let it kind of be filtered, and I'll see the good stuff.
I do like the Belichick's on there now, though. I really like Bill Belichick in the position that he's in. I don't know if you guys saw, just a quick sidebar, he interviewed for the North Carolina job, and I don't know if that's just like it's just a little floater out for everybody, like, hey, I'll just coach. Like, I'll coach. You imagine Bill Belichick showing up to your house to recruit you as like a 4-star prospect, like at a high school. He just walks in. He's like, yeah, this NIL money doesn't fucking matter. I got 6 Super Bowls, bitch. And just,
I don't think that's gonna relate.
No. That's kind of what I'm alluding to.
That would just be the aura that he walks in with, like.
Yeah, and then a 17-year-old kid's like, yeah, and a 17-year-old kid's like, cool. What's my NIL deal?
Yeah.
And then he's just
gonna be like, I have to go to the bathroom again.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I got a crap. I got to get out of here. Yeah, I just think it's funny that he interviewed for a fucking college football job. That's just silly.
He's probably just did somebody a favor to make the jobs. You know what I mean? Like,
That's what I'm saying. This is just like I think it's just a little teaser to let people know he still wants to coach.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. I don't
That's-
ever see
that's
him
true.
stepping into the college realm after the success that he had in the NFL. But
No, not with all the vacancies that'll happen after this year in the NFL either.
yeah, there should be quite a few, to say the least. All right, well, let's move on to another divisional matchup. Man, some of the games this week are just kind of brutal. We got the Jaguars on the road in Tennessee. This is a. I don't know.
I'm taking the Jaguars. They're gonna play hard for their boy Trevor, who just got cheap shot last week, and the Titans suck. Like, it's kind of ripe for the picking. I think the Jaguars have very, very much underperformed this year, but I think they rally around this. I think it's kind of like the new coach theory or whatever, new quarterback out there for them. What is it, Mac Jones, right?
Yeah, so let's dive into this though.
The Titans
Like,
are bad.
the hit on Lawrence. What are your thoughts?
It was dirty. It was very dirty.
It was brutal.
And it was the Bobby we talked about last year. It's the repeat offender.
Well, I guess my question is what is the defender supposed to do?
I mean, not like regardless of whether the quarterback slid in that situation, it was going to be a cheap hit.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you can't hit quarterbacks high. You have to hit them low if they're running. He went low and Lawrence slid late. Like,
I don't think it was that late, no. Not for an athlete.
It looked pretty late. Like, he was
I don't
already
think
like
so either.
I don't know, man. This is a rule I'll never agree with. Like, if the quarterback's running out in the open field, he is literally another person running a football. Doesn't matter if it's a quarterback. Doesn't matter if it's a running back. I don't understand. Like, I've heard a lot of opinions on this, but like, I don't understand why they don't dive forward. Like, if you slide, you're opening yourself up to a hit like that. If you dive forward, you're not even remote. We're not even talking about it this week.
Here's my new rule. If you type in player and then dirty hits in YouTube and the video's a minute and a half or longer, I'm just not giving you the benefit of the doubt.
This is a situation where I'm always going to side with the defense here. Just for the sheer fact that, like, playing defense in the NFL is arguably one of the hardest things to do.
That's why they're well compensated for it. The best ones.
Right. But, at the end of the day, like, these guys are playing fast. They're making split-second decisions. And, like, if you're going to give yourself up like that, like, you need to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position where you're not going to expose yourself. And Lawrence didn't do that. Like, he slid late. I don't care what you guys say is a late, like, when it's that fast, like, that's a late slide. He should have slid 2 yards earlier. We're not talking about this.
I'm going to try to make an analogy here, and I hope I can thread the needle. I think football, the rules are gamed for offense to succeed. Can we agree?
Absolutely agree.
Okay. So that's like being mad at the casino for taking money at the end of the day. You know what the rules are. Whatever the VIG is, it's always good. The house always wins. The rules are always going to, be on the offensive side. Does that mean the defense can't win? No. Not at all. But you got to play by the rules. And like, it's as simple as that.
Don't necessarily agree with it, but okay.
I
know I'm a lone wolf on this opinion.
I will say in general, I do agree with the fact that if quarterbacks want to run in the open field, it's not like they're untouchable.
Yeah.
But I also think you have to know the situation. Like, that was a very,
but we have to start holding quarterbacks accountable for making these decisions and exposing themselves, because at the end of the day, they are the most valuable piece on every single team. And if there's an opportunity for you to, get outside the pocket and potentially hurt yourself, you need to make sure that you're trained to make the best decision in that specific scenario. And Trevor Lawrence didn't make that.
Yeah, Todd,
so what if it's Right. So obviously, this is not a fourth down scenario where Trevor Lawrence slid, right? But what if it's 4th and 6, and you are a yard and a half from the defender, and you're 5 yards downfield? So you're saying that a quarterback should give up a first down to not get hit?
I'm saying if that's the case and he's gonna take that slide, like if it's 4th down, you're running full speed ahead. You're not giving up. That's how you
On
should run
first
the
down, you run
football
full
every
speed ahead,
time.
though.
Yeah,
They
but
do, though.
you should never give up though. Like if you're gonna get outside the pocket and run, you know the consequences. That's what I'm saying is that like there needs to be some ownership on the offensive side of the ball. Like if you're gonna get outside the pocket and run, you are a runner. If you get knocked the fuck out, you get knocked the fuck out. It is what it is. Like take the ownership.
I can't get behind that, dude. I just can't. I cannot.
It's fine.
You just said it, dude. The quarterback is the most valuable piece of the NFL.
Okay, well then let's teach them how to run the football the correct way. You don't see running backs getting knocked out like that.
Right, because they don't
That's
have
not how
to
they teach how to
slide.
tackle. I can tell you that.
No. You even if he slides right, and everybody could say that he slid late. That's fine. But you don't go full parallel to the fucking ground to knock somebody out. That's not football anymore, dude. You can live in the past and say that that's how football was, but that is not how football is played. That's a penalty no matter what. Even if you don't give yourself up and you lead the way that he led, that is a penalty. High, low, left, right, it doesn't matter anymore. When you leave the ground and you lead with your helmet and you make contact with somebody above their shoulder pads, whether you're up or down, that is a penalty now. This is not 2006 anymore. We are playing a whole different generation of football. That's what I'm getting at is I hear you, right?
You clearly don't. You clearly don't.
I do hear
you. He just doesn't agree with you.
I don't. I just disagree with you. I'm acknowledging that I understand where you're coming from. I'm just saying that the game has evolved to where that's not a tackle anymore. That's not a safe tackle anymore. That's not a non-penalized tackle anymore. Guys get penalized for that. Michael Pittman Jr., right? We're talking about we kind of alluded to your frequent flyer. We were talking about the penalty that happened last year against Michael Pittman Jr. You could say the same thing. Don't dive for the football if you don't expect to get hit lead. That's how he dove for a football parallel to the ground, and he got hit this way. Trevor Lawrence slid. Dude from Texans came this way. I hear what you're saying. It's just not the way football is anymore. That's it.
My big thing, and it's exactly what Tez said. Like they need to teach these guys how to slide. Because Trevor Lawrence was 1,000% in the wrong, and I will die on that fucking hill 10 days out of 10. I will die on that hill.
Sure,
it was late. He put the defender in a bad spot.
Okay, then teach defenders to not fucking leave the ground and crush somebody.
So they're not supposed to go full speed and stop somebody from getting a first down.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's exactly what you're saying because you can
do that without leaving your feet. You could do that without leaving your feet. What are you talking about? These guys are professional athletes. You're talking about the best players in the world. They don't have to leave their feet to hit somebody.
But yeah, this is something we see so
frequently. What did fucking Cooper DeJean do to Derrick Henry in the open field? Right? We just saw it. They were both running.
That's not even remotely in the same ballpark.
What do you mean? It's the same situation you're talking about, dude.
Derrick Henry had just caught a ball and was getting to his feet.
But they're going in the open field at the same time, and
they weren't running at each other full speed. That's not even the same. That's not even the same fucking area code.
Yeah, I don't know how to moderate this other than I think no one's changing their mind on it clearly, but yeah, I not to gang up on you, Bobby, but I'm with Todd 100%. Like
we're not playing two-hand touch, Tez.
Disagree with
nobody said we're playing two-hand touch. We're preaching to these guys to prevent concussions. That is what the NFL is living by. I'm just telling you that football's not the same anymore.
Agreed.
It's not 2006. I'm sorry. It's 2024. We've seen quarterbacks we've seen too many concussions. They're changing the way things are played. I'm not saying it's two-hand touch.
I'm just saying the quarterbacks need to start being fined for getting outside the pocket and putting defenders in a bad situation, because this is just as much on Trevor Lawrence as it is on the defender, and I don't really see it any other way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, again, I just when you're a player who constantly late hits out of bounds, these type of tackles, again, you lose.
I'm never going to get mad at defenders for playing hard. I never will.
I am when they constantly break the rules, though. Like it does. I don't really give a shit whether you think that's football or not. If you're getting penalized and the reason he's suspended 3 games is because he's a repeat offender. If he's not going to learn what he's dangerous out there. It's legitimately dangerous. It's the same thing that when Burfitt was or Brissett was what is
Perfect.
it? Burfitt, who was a monster out there. And then when Juju Smith-Schuster lays him out in the open field clean, everyone's like, fuck yeah, take the penalty, stand over him, because I'm sick of this fucking guy headhunting every goddamn play. It's I don't know, man. We are watching 2 different sports because the rules have changed. It's the same way that you can't body people the way you could in the 80s in the NBA. The sport goes on.
Okay. Todd, who you taking?
For what game? What game are we on now?
Jags Titans.
Okay. I'm taking the Jags. I'm not trying to be a dick to you, dude. I'm just telling you
you're fine.
that I'm not talking about fucking playing. Well, I'm not talking. We have to play softer. We have to do this and that. The game is evolved into a position now where the NFL wants these guys to not fucking crush people helmet to helmet, right? He slid late. That's fine. Let's say he slid late. Maybe I'm 100% wrong. That's fine. All I'm saying is that you have to accept the repercussions of what fucking happened, and you can't say that this. I don't know.
All I'm saying is, like, I understand the rule. I understand why he's suspended and why he got the fine. I'm just saying I don't personally agree with it. I think there needs to be something in place where the offense is held accountable, or like that rule needs to change, because like once you're outside the pocket and you're running, you are not a quarterback anymore. You are a runner. At that point, you know the risk that you're taking when you step outside the pocket and you run the football. That's all I'm saying. You know the risk.
Yeah, I think in the offseason you are going to see some rule tweaks to the quarterback attempt, or like faking going out of bounds or doing that.
I mean, it's just like the Kenny Pickett fake slide in college. Like, obviously that bred some rule changes, but like, you can't make it impossible to play defense in the NFL. And as much as we can sit here and be fucking armchair quarterbacks, like, we're not out there. We don't know how fast it is. Like things like this are going to happen. It's football. Like, as much as you say it's one guy, it's a repeat offender, this shit happens week in and week out.
Yeah. And there's offensive linemen who have a shitload of holds and they call the flag on it.
Absolutely. And you've got Joey Porter Jr., who's good for about 60, 70 yards of penalties every game. It is what it is. Like, you've got repeat offenders. It's annoying, but it happens. Like, it's a part of the game. And that's where I stand on it. I'm taking the Titans at home. So that's where I land there. Josh is taking the Titans. All right, let's move on.
Let's stay on this for a really long. I'm just kidding. Come on, guys. Let's lighten up. We're allowed to disagree on shit.
I'm sorry. I've just heard the late slide thing for like the last 5 days, and I just watched the video again, and he slid in whatever fucking the dude from the Texans left his feet after he slid. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I just watched it again twice just to verify that. I feel like I'm correct in that, but that's fine. We can move on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Watching it real time, like you already, before your body moves, you have to think about what your body's going to do. So that decision was already made before he slid and he dove. Like that's just how it works. Like, if I want to pick up this bottle of water, I got to think about it first, and then I'm going to do it. Like that's where my brain's at. Like they both processed the same thing at the same time, and it led to a bad result.
I think you could make that. We could talk about this for 4 hours.
We really could.
There's a real conversation here, right?
Yeah.
We're just on the total opposite side
Listen,
of the fence.
guys, it's not.
It's
bad
not
for
often
you
we're on
to
the opposite side of
disagree.
things, Todd.
No,
and
that's
I'm
what I was
actually
gonna say.
kind of
Like, it's
enjoying
not
it.
fun
So.
to sit here all day and be like, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I also think we've spun this wool a little too far.
Yeah, we're running out of shit to stitch. So
Fucking make me a damn sweater, then, Aaron. Make me a sweater.
I was
you
on your
fucking-
side, asshole.
I know. I know.
pull out the needles, motherfucker.
Oh, man. You
Um,
know what? Bobby's making some good fucking points.
All right. Well, let's take a ride on the Kirk Cousins revenge train. We got the Falcons headed back to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Kirk Cousins has been dog shit the last 2-3 weeks. Vikings are finding ways to win games. Should be a good one here, boys. Todd, I'll let you lead this one off. Who you got?
Yeah, man, you just said it. The Falcons' offense has been bad
Yeah, they've been really
last month. Just seems like everything's out of rhythm. Cousins took a lot of sacks against the Chargers, and now this is a very good Chargers defense, right? Like this is a top 3 defense, so pretty hard to score points on the Chargers. But
Vikings are no
I think
slouches.
no, they're not, and that's kind of what I'm getting to here. Is I think the Vikings are continuing to do what they did a couple years ago, where they're just getting into tight situations in the fourth quarter and they're winning football games. Whether it's Aaron Jones or Sam Darnold, whomever, right? I think the main thing is that the Vikings offense improved pretty significantly with Hawk coming back. I think that's a big thing that's changed for Sam Darnold, because I think we kind of saw a lull a little bit. Even, they lost 2 games in a row, but where they were less productive on offense. And then you look at their comeback in this game against Arizona last week, and it was a lot of tight end, run the ball, boom. Right. That's kind of where Darnold's working right now. And the NFC North, boys, is just unbelievable. Well,
Yeah.
3 of the 4 teams are unbelievable.
Yep.
Like,
It's always a North.
yeah. I'm taking the Vikings here. There's a real legit chance that I have to admit at the end of this year that I was wrong about the Falcons, and that the Bucs are going to win the NFC South again at like 10-7. When the Falcons should be winning pretty much. They should be. They're 6 are they 6-6?
They are. Hold, please.
The Bucks.
The Falcons.
They're
Oh,
6-6.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they should be. They should have won 9 games. There's games that they're
division
losing
year over year is fucking awful.
Yeah, well, that's it's.
They always find
It
a way
doesn't
to
make
screw
sense.
it up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Tez, I put all your picks in, so you don't have to type them in chat. I got them from the message you sent, so thank you for that. Aaron, who do you have?
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me that wants to be a contrarian and be like, oh, Kirk Cousins back in Minnesota. Maybe that's
There's
you
a
know,
big
right
part of me
for-
that wants to do that. I just don't
maybe
believe it.
But I like you guys were just saying, the Vikings are a top 3 defense. I think we've named them all tonight: Denver, Chargers, and I think this Vikings team are probably your top 3 defenses so far. Pittsburgh actually, there you go. There's our 4. That's our theme of the night, the Mount Rushmore. But yeah, listen, I just don't trust the Falcons right now, and the Vikings are. I'm going to be excited to bet against the Vikings in the playoffs, but I think they're just taking care of business in the regular season.
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings here. They just seem to find ways to win football games, and I think these really, really good defenses have found a way to shut down that offense. Like, don't get me wrong, the Falcons have all the ability in the world they could go in there and they could throw up 40 points. Like they've got the talent on the offensive side of the ball.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you to get that done. But man, what a letdown this team's been this year. Like, we thought they were going to roll, and it wasn't even going to be close. Like, they loaded up. They finally had a good quarterback down there with all that talent. And man, it's just been a stinker out of Atlanta. So I'm going to take the Vikings. Next game is not going to be a fun one, or at least not a fun one to talk about. Got the Panthers headed to Philly.
The Panthers have been sneaky fun to watch the last 3 weeks, bud.
They have. Like Bryce,
I'm not saying they're going to win this game, but I
don't.
think this could be fun.
I don't know what happened when Bryce Young got benched and then came back, but man, he has been a different dude.
Yeah. So I have a theory on this.
Is it
I think
House of Georgia kind of thing?
I think something like that. I think that we're seeing a coach in Carolina for the first time since I don't know 2014, 2012 that these players are going to rally around. I think Dave Canales is actually just a very good head coach, and something that's kind of come out of this, right? Obviously, Bryce Young gets benched, Dalton comes in, Dalton gets injured. Kind of a conversation that I read between the three of them because Canales had Dalton and Bryce Young in his office. They had a conversation, and he told Bryce, he said, "Hey, this is your team to lead. You just needed a break." That's where he went to, right? And I think you're seeing a roster of young guys who are playing with honestly really nothing to lose, right? Like you're looking for a high draft pick, or you're going for best available wherever you're at. And Bryce Young just gets an opportunity to figure out how to be a quarterback in the NFL under the right offense.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I see. I think Dave Canales did a really nice job with an undersized quarterback last year in Tampa Bay, doing things to make sure that ball in, ball out very quickly. And I've watched Bryce Young in the last 3 weeks make very good decisions, get out of the pocket only when necessary, which is not something we saw in his first, 22 games that he played in the NFL. And it doesn't hurt that Chuba Hubbard is silently turned into a very good game managing running back in the NFL, right? They paid him accordingly a couple weeks ago. But there are pieces there, right? And I think getting the right head coach in there, and as long as Tepper doesn't try to dick around with what Canales is trying to do, the formula is there. I just think Bryce Young
is having fun.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I think Canales is giving him the opportunity to make mistakes and make tough decisions and live with it and learn from it. And that Chiefs game, that's the best game he's played in his career in the NFL. I mean,
I wouldn't disagree with it. I think the last 3 games he's played have been the best games he's played in the NFL, easily.
For sure. I think it just took. It's just building confidence, right? He never had the opportunity since game 1 of last year to have any confidence because he got shit on, and then automatically everyone alludes to he's a bust. And now we're talking about he's been one of the most effective quarterbacks touchdown to turnover ratio since he's come back from being benched and coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Still taking the Eagles, but
yeah,
it'll be fun.
Yeah, they've been a lot more fun to watch. It's good. Corey, welcome back, bud. We missed you.
Hey guys.
Also,
right.
The Eagles have been playing some of the best football since their bye week.
They really have.
Yeah.
All right, Corey. We're gonna do a rapid fire segment here. All right. We got Saints on the road versus the Giants.
Give me the Saints.
Jets on the road versus the Dolphins.
Sorry, I can't hear you very well.
Jets on the road versus the Dolphins.
Jets versus Dolphins. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your mic.
You sound like you're underwater.
Yeah.
Or very muffled.
Take the microphone out of your asshole, Bobby.
Yeah.
It sounds better. But I'm taking the Dolphins.
Does that sound better?
It did for
Do
a
one more
hot
time.
second.
Hello.
Well, I don't know. Was it good?
Now I can't hear you at all.
Yeah, they unplugged it.
Underwater.
Nope. Can't hardly hear you.
You can't hear me at all.
There he
Oh, there
is.
it is.
Good
Bow, bow,
Lord.
bow.
We're not touching that ever again. Jets. Sorry, what did you say? Jets or Dolphins?
Dufferines,
Okay.
Dolphins.
Jags on the road versus the Titans.
Titans, and Titans minus 3.5 with even money. Yeah, give me that shit all day.
Roger that. Falcons, Vikings.
Don't trust the Vikings, but I'm taking them at home because I don't trust the Falcons just as much.
Roger that. All right, just like that, we're all caught up. Cool. Well, let's move on. Next matchup, we've got the Raiders on the road in Tampa Bay. Corey, lead us off, man. Who you got?
Yeah, things aren't good in Las Vegas. Over the last few weeks, you've got your head coach calling out the entire team. You've got the best player on your team for the last 2 years saying that he's just tired of it, basically. Could absolutely see. I mean, if you're the Vegas Raiders, you have to trade Max Crosby. You have so many holes on your roster.
First, probably.
You might even start trading Michael Mayer. Brock Bowers obviously is under a rookie contract, but you want to get some of these pieces out of there as much as you can because you have so much to do. You have so much work to do. So, Max Crosby could be on the move this offseason, both by his desire and out of need of Las Vegas.
What did Khalil Mack get when he got traded to the Bears?
I think it was a third
It
round.
was like two. No, it was like 2 firsts, wasn't it?
No, I don't think it was 2 firsts.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right.
Let's take a gander.
With all that
Sure, I'm
being
going
said,
to
Corey, I
too.
imagine you're taking the Buccaneers here.
I'm taking the Buccaneers.
Roger that. Ron, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it brief, but I just feel bad for Bowers. Like, I think he's not only the best, he has the most receptions in the league of anybody, any pass catcher. Jamar Chase, he's got more receptions than. That's not anything against
Was
Jamar
2
Chase.
first-round picks, by the way, Aaron.
Okay, I thought so. I think that's
2
the kind of
first
package you're looking
rounds,
for
a
Crosby.
third, and a 6th.
Yeah, I think that's what you're
Jesus,
looking at for
that's
somebody
a
like
haul.
Crosby if he's on the move. But yeah, I'll take the Bucks here, man. It like Corey just said, it's miserable in Vegas land, baby.
Yeah, Todd.
Just lose, baby.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks. We kind of glossed over what Brock Bowers is doing, and we have to have him in the conversation for offensive rookie of the year, right?
Yes.
We got to talk about it.
He's like plus 1,200. How?
It's kind of, and I understand that they're 2-10, but like he's it.
There's 2 good quarterbacks.
Yeah, sure, whatever. But there's one good rookie tight end.
And he's the best.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's there's something there, but if Prime Time decides to, I don't know, become the offensive coordinator for the Raiders next year for his son, that'd be interesting, right?
It would definitely be an
Cool.
interesting scenario.
You could argue though, Todd, for offensive rookie of the year, it's harder to play rookie tight end than rookie quarterback when you look at the success of.
Yeah.
This is a very, very hot take, and I'm almost saying it in jest, but like we have seen more successful rookie quarterbacks than rookie tight ends.
Yeah, we always say it takes a year or so to get acclimated as a tight end in the NFL, right?
I'd say there's more rookie quarterbacks that start than do tight ends as well.
Again, I mean it a little bit in jest, just for interesting conversation, but like don't throw away what Bowers is doing. I'm with Todd 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's like doing what Sam Laporta did last year, but better.
Laporta was like one of the first guys we've seen do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking the Buccaneers here as well. There's no reason to take the Raiders right now and fade you guys. There's just not a lot going on over there for them. So let's move on to the notorious, don't trust the bird after you cut the bird.
Dude, best game of the week.
Cardinals are at home versus the Seahawks. This will be a barn burner. This is gonna be a good one. Aaron, lead us off. Who you got?
So I love this game this week. This has the most playoff implications. I think I saw a stat where it's both of these teams with a win are 87% to make the playoffs, with a loss are at like 17.
Oh wow,
This is like make or
Big
break
game.
for both of these teams. Also, you would think that this is going to be a barn burner. Like you said, both of these teams are actually very stellar on defense. The Seahawks started the year as like the 6th or 7th best offense in the league. Since halfway through where we're at right now in the season, it has completely switched. They're like a top 6 defense. Their offense is ranked worst right now over the last 6 weeks. It's absolutely wild. And I'm so excited about this game because it's basically who's going to win the division. Because you've had the Rams struggling and the 49ers are basically out of it. And these two teams have kind of, I don't know, rose above it a little bit. I'll take the Seahawks. But I'm telling you guys, this is going to be the best game of the week, and I'm taking the under.
Gotcha. So Seahawks and the under. All right. Corey, who you got?
Yeah, just out of principle. Don't trust the red bird after you cut the bird. Give me the Seahawks.
Todd.
Hit me, Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm not fading it, man.
Interesting.
That's what we do, man. We don't,
I know, but I'm telling you
it's
guys,
a podcast principle.
This Cardinals team is a little bit different, I think, than the last 2 or 3 years.
Well, yeah, I guess time will tell. Josh and Tez both have the Cardinals, and
I kind of want to switch.
Not a bad pick for them. They're the home team too, right?
yeah.
I'm switching. I'm taking the Cardinals.
Okay.
Or not. What?
No,
is that
no
crazy?
way. After seeing all of us take the
All right,
Seahawks,
fine.
you want to switch? Fuck that.
I would not be the first, but
Oh shit.
We're getting down to the nitty gritty, Aaron. This is game time.
how
right?
far out am I? I feel like I'm still just hanging out in the back. I just hit an ace.
So you are
So I'm just
you
lying.
are 5 games back of Corey, 6 games back of me, and you are 13 games back of Todd.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but this is a seller race at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. All right.
All right,
Cool,
boys.
that's a lot of fun. Welcome back, dude.
We got the Bears on the road versus the Niners for the next one on the slate. The Bears just last 2 weeks have lost some heartbreakers, man.
Yeah.
Absolute just crumbled. Just that's probably one of the worst like meltdowns I've ever seen on Thanksgiving Day. You got 30 seconds on the
Sure.
clock and you can't call a timeout. Like that's I mean I know that I was listening to what Caleb Williams had to say, and it was obviously not the only reason Matt Eberflus got fired, but definitely didn't help. He couldn't get the play call in. Like they just failed to get a play call in, and then they called a play, and it was not a good play. And then Caleb saw how much time they had, called something different, and let it fly.
Solely on the coach.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
He's got a
Call
timeout in
timeout.
his pocket.
yeah.
Like, oh, is my rookie quarterback struggling out there? We have 14 seconds.
let it ride.
He's like, it doesn't matter if we win or lose. I'm fired.
He's already
I don't give a
fucking
shit
turkey
anymore.
napping. Jeez.
Tez, you were at the top of the leaderboard. 136-59 is your overall record. You were 15-1 last week. So,
Almost, bud.
yep. So close to perfection twice. The only game Tez missed last week was the Eagles-Ravens. You're gonna miss one. That's not a bad one to miss because that was a damn good football game. So, yeah, Bears on the road versus Niners. I'm taking the Bears this week, boys. I
Same.
think they get over the hump. Obviously, they got rid of Eberflus, but at the end of the day, the 49ers are just disheveled at this point. They don't have anybody healthy. They're on their third string running back.
Are you calling this like a head coach is fired, everybody gets together kind of thing? Or
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Okay.
Dude, it's the new coach theory on crack.
Yeah.
They get some extra time to prepare. That's just the speed boost in Mario, dude. New coach. I'm taking the Bears as well, Bob. Let's go.
Yeah, let's ride.
I'm taking the 49ers. Bears are a bad football team, guys.
Shoot, so are the 49ers.
They're not. They're a bad
And they actually have good players.
They're a hurt football team. They're not a bad football team. They're a hurt football team. There's a difference. I think there's a drastic difference between the level of coaching that's available in San Francisco level of quarterback experience, whether or not plays exist, like level of talent. Like I think Caleb Williams can and will be better than Brock Purdy, but I just think what San Francisco is, the Bears are bad. They're bad. People make a lot of excuses for the Chicago Bears. They're a bad football team. They're a 4-8 football team. They're bad. They are who they are.
in a position to beat the best team in football last week, though.
Yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals have been in a position to beat all of the top 5 teams in the league,
and they've won some big games.
And they haven't. And they're a bad football team because of it. That defines what is a good teams win those games. The Chicago Bears are not a good football team. I got the Niners at home in this one.
Gotcha. Todd.
It will be interesting to see with no Trent Williams what Montez Sweat's able to do against this 49ers offensive line. We're talking about it being super banged up, but I'm taking the 49ers at home, fellas. I agree with Corey. Just, whether it's Eberflus's blunder or whatever, like, he's right. Good teams win close games. Bad teams lose close games, which is what they've done multiple times this year.
I think it's fair.
Hell of a Monday night matchup we got.
Yeah. Well, it's because Bart Simpson's calling it. So,
all right, Tez, you got a little bit of skin in this next game. We got the Bills on the road versus the Rams. Josh Allen's playing some good football, boys.
MVP?
Probably. I think this is finally the year he gets over the hump. So, Todd, leads off. You got.
Yeah, Aaron, you said the Rams are kind of in a question mark. They're 6-6. They're right in the hunt in the NFC West, baby.
Yeah, they're right there. They're no, go ahead. But I kind of assume they're going to lose this game.
So you threw me off my game a little bit here. I was talking to my guy wrong here. Gave me the wrong tone. Yeah, so
break both your legs. Right?
Yeah, the Bills are the second hottest team in football right now, fellas. And I believe, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, we're going to have Matt Milano back full time this week. That is a very specific member of this leadership of the Bills. It's important. And yeah, I'm taking the Bills here. Josh Allen for MVP at this point. As long as it's not Pat Mahomes, I don't give a fuck who wins it. Josh Allen would be fine.
Did you say Pepperidge Farm?
I did, yeah.
Oh, shit. Josh, if you're in the chat, I do need your pick for the Bears 49ers. Yeah, Corey, go ahead. Who you got?
Yeah. What's the spread on this one?
It's a good question. Probably
it was 3.5 when I looked at it.
Wow. Okay.
I would take Bills minus 3.5 in a heartbeat.
Tez coming to the comment. My team's too inconsistent to have players to beat them, but you just don't know what team you will get from them week in and week out. I took the Bills because of it. So
yeah, I think it's logical bet. I think a logical pick, and I think if this game's in Buffalo, it's even worse than what it's going to be.
It's in LA.
Yeah, I know. I was saying if it was in Buffalo, it'd be even worse of a beatdown. I don't necessarily think that this is like a double-digit win for Buffalo here, but I think they control the game from start to finish. So, give me the Bills.
Sure. Aaron, any other comments?
Yeah, no, I mean, just to echo really what Tez just said in the chat is, would I be shocked if the Rams won this game? No, I wouldn't. I think the Bills may be due for just a stinker, but this is like a 70%, 30%. You always take the 70.
Bills got a big game next week.
Yeah. So maybe they're overlooking this. Who knows?
Yeah, Bills Lions next week is going to be absolutely electric. You have to take the
Bills with the way they're playing.
So
you can't not take the Bills or the Lions every week, basically.
Yeah, well, next week you're going to have to pick. So,
I'm so excited.
All right, Sunday night we got the Chargers taking on the Chiefs. I just can't say that name with a lot of excitement. God, I hope the Chargers. I hope the Chargers.
We're all Aaron Paul in Breaking Bad now. You can't keep getting away with it. That's us every fucking week, dude. every fucking week.
They've been bailed out by a lot the whole season.
Hey, it's a false start. Let's just call it an illegal formation. Let's just get out of here, guys. All right?
Yeah. That might be the worst call that we've seen all year.
Dude, it's wild, dude. It's wild. Can we just have one that it doesn't happen? Can we just have one where it doesn't happen? Can they just either convincingly win or lose a game?
I'm gonna will it into fucking existence this week. I'm taking the Chargers.
I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm not gonna bet against them. I'm not
taking the
doing
Chargers.
it.
I have to.
I hope. I hope you're right. I think they've been playing better football,
I
agree.
but there's no logic anymore.
I'm doing it. I'm gonna will it into fucking existence. The Chargers are gonna win this football game.
God, I hope you're right.
4-point spread, if you're wondering.
Chiefs -4.
That's very
Yeah.
gettable.
I'm taking.
Yeah, give me Kansas City.
I thought you were gonna ride with me.
No, I can't. I can't. There's no. It doesn't like you're fighting them. Welcome to the machine. Yeah, that's what we're in right now. It's just.
Well, here's the thing. They're 11-1, dude. Like they could very easily they're gonna lose some football games.
maybe.
Like,
Why?
This is the week. It's gonna happen. Sunday night. It's gonna happen on a national stage. They're gonna bend the Chiefs over.
Yeah,
to-
maybe
They,
week
say,
18.
they say they balanced everything out from all the bullshit that's happening at the beginning. Well, not the beginning, the whole fucking season.
Oh
So,
yeah, dude, I can already see the fucking narrative right now. They lose like 2 games out of the last like 5 or whatever that's left. They lose 2 of them, and then people start going, "Oh, the Chiefs, they're frauds." Da, 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 da. And then Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Travis Kelsey's annoyingly on a microphone. They counted us out. No one thought we could do it. Shut the fuck up. 3P. Shut the fuck up. Okay, shut the fuck up, Travis.
It's not that nobody thought you could do it. It's nobody wanted you.
Yeah,
to
no one wants you to.
to.
Sure.
We all hate you.
good.
It's like
night.
when the valedictorian gives a speech. At
It's
your
like when
fucking
you're the
graduation.
CEO of a high level like healthcare institution. Right?
Yeah,
Whoa.
And then everyone's like, "Yeah, fuck that guy."
yeah, like whoops.
And you're like, "Well,
Like,
I
if
didn't
you
do
get
it."
shot.
Yeah, that dude was absolutely waxed. And it was. I don't know if you
And
guys saw
everyone
the
just
video.
We're like,
And about their day, like, oh, I'm sorry, where we want thoughts and prayers?
you think that board meeting didn't start on time?
Somebody played the clip of
It's fresh Panera.
Um,
over
the town where they're like robbing the bank and they pull up and
and the,
and-
the
and
cop looks
just
at him.
there just looks the other way. And I was like, yeah, it's probably not even
That's yeah.
far off of what actually happened. But
It would have been so much better if he was like, "There goes college soccer."
all right, Todd, who do you have?
I have the Chargers.
You're taking the Chargers. You're riding with me. All right, I love it.
I am.
Any thoughts other than you just want the Chiefs to lose?
Yeah, I don't like anything that's going on in Kansas City. I wish that it would just stop. That's
J.K.
it.
Dobbins to IR again.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Ah, dude, that poor fella, man. So talented, just can't stay healthy. All right, guys. Aaron and I will lead this one off, and then we'll give you the floor.
Oh, did I give you a pick for
No,
this?
you didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Aaron. I thought you said the Chiefs.
No, man, I think you guys are going to force me to take the Chiefs, but I don't want to. No, let's do it. I'm going to let Corey. Yeah. You know what? What's their mascot? Are you a Chiefs fan?
I'm Chiefsaholic.
Yeah.
I'm Robin Banks, bitch.
Yeah. Bring it back to the town. Yeah, no, I think the Chargers playing good football. I think Harbaugh is going to have them ready. So they've been, I think, one of the most slept on teams. That's like a legitimate playoff team. Probably them and the Broncos. No, go ahead,
Well,
Corey.
Are we
I'm
all
not saying
sleeping on
here.
the Chiefs though?
I don't think so.
No, I think everybody's just.
I think
rooting
everyone
against
knows
them.
All
who
right,
they
name the
are.
top 2 teams in the AFC right now. You're not saying the Chiefs.
Here's the thing: is I don't really think the
Bills
AFC
Ravens,
is.
right?
Yeah,
Bills
it's
Ravens.
Bills. It's probably Bills Chiefs.
I think most people would say Ravens over Chiefs.
I've seen the Ravens just play like shit like too many times. I-
Chiefs
and,
do it
and-
every
and-
week.
and I haven't seen Lamar. I've seen him do that
Fact.
in the regular season this year too much, and I've seen Lamar do it too many times in the playoffs. So is this the inverse of it, where they have a mediocre?
Is the
regular
NFC
season
just
defender?
exponentially better than the AFC this
No,
year?
I just think the Lions are in a class of themselves.
Yeah,
and
but
then I
the
think it's
Eagles
like-
are right there.
I was just gonna say, then it's like Bills Eagles, and
They're
then
right
there's another
there.
drop off from there.
I don't think they. I mean, we're going to find out next week, but I don't think there's much distinction. The Bills are getting healthy. The Lions have the plague. I think the Bills are a way hotter train than the Lions right now. Lions have skated by over the last couple of weeks. Skated by at home, nonetheless.
Yeah, it's tough though because
3 home games in a row, though, as well in December. Like, that's fucking stupid. Who did that?
Usually every team gets a 3-game home streak.
Jerking off fucking Detroit here? What are we doing?
I bet. Do the Bengals not have 3 home games in a row this year?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I think every
They
team. gets
did.
one
They
straight
did.
year.
They did earlier in the season.
I was like, I think
It's
every
fine.
team gets that one time.
I just mean at the end of the season. That's a lot. That's a lot to get. It's
Well,
nice for
in
them.
order to make that happen, some are going to be at the end of the season. Yeah.
Whatever.
Gotcha. All right. So, are you taking the Chargers or the Chiefs?
I'm taking the Chargers.
Okay. Lone Wolf.
Oh,
Cool. Monday night, Bengals on the road in Jerry World. I hate picking this game because I just don't know what the Bengals defense is going to do.
I know who should win. I know who should win.
I've taken the Bengals so many times this year and gotten burnt.
You know who should win.
Yeah, sure.
They should beat the living shit out of them. Is what should happen.
I mean, I'm taking the Bengals this week, but man, like, if the Bengals give it away late, I
You
don't know.
won't be surprised.
I
Bob.
won't, but I'll be disappointed for my picks. Aaron, who do you have?
I just want to throw out a super fun fact about this game.
Yeah, it's
They-
so fun.
They wanted to flex this out.
They
but they
can't. They
because of The
can't.
Simpsons.
They wanted to make this a 1:00 game on Sunday, and
But they're like, well, we put all this
because
production
of
value into the
the
Simpsons
mouse.
thing. Yeah, hilarious. I just think that's objectively
Yeah,
hilarious.
they turned Joe Burrow into a Simpsons character. It was too late.
I'm taking the Chargers. I'm sorry, I'm taking the Cowboys.
Like that would
Like,
be
dude.
wild.
Oh my god!
You want to see a
That's Justin
magic trick?
Herbert's music.
It's just the WWE. At this
Yeah,
point.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna take the Cowboys. I just,
All right, Todd,
Yeah.
Corey, have fun. Who you got?
Can we talk about the
Did you hear
Bengals
that?
for a little bit, or
Yeah. Did you hear it? Did you hear what just happened though?
neither of you were
8
excited.
seconds of silence from Corey and I both, where we just
all right?
Yeah, I didn't hear shit.
Hold on. Let me just get my pick out of the way. I'm taking the Bengals. And then can we talk about the Bengals?
Todd, who you taking?
We can talk about
yeah, I'm taking the Bengals too.
Okay, the floor is yours. Aaron, Lone Wolf.
At a certain point, let's acknowledge some facts. Okay.
Okay.
The Bengals have the best offense in football.
Okay, so we're not doing facts, I guess.
No, that's statistically true. So that's a fact.
Okay.
Zach Taylor is the play caller of the offense.
No, we can agree on that. Yeah,
Yeah, that also a fact.
that checks.
By in which you must assume Zach Taylor is good at calling plays.
See,
Wrong. That's wrong. Why is this offense so productive? There is zero aspect of this offense that is productive due to scheme. There is not a point in time where there is just, wow, what a play call. Outside of a well-executed run, which is the only way runs are productive in the NFL. In college, you can kind of improv and break one loose on a completely away from the blocking scheme. That doesn't happen in the NFL. Everybody's too fast and too good at football. Run plays are executed well, and then that's how they are productive. The passing game, the reason the passing game is successful is because the best quarterback in football wears Bengals stripes. Is because he is able to improvise on a regular basis and just pull fucking something out of what this fucking team is doing. It is so frustrating to watch. When I know what you're gonna do, you don't think that someone gets paid a lot of fucking money and develops a game plan on defense. You don't think that they know what you're gonna do as well. It's just I don't know, man. It's so fucking frustrating to watch on so many levels. When you have a guy operating like Joe Burrow, when you have a guy playing like Jamar Chase, it's just fucking infuriating. And the only solace I get, shout out Sauce. The only solace I get out of this is just I'm gonna just have fun watching Joe Burrow be really good at football, and that's the only thing I can really do for the rest of this season. Todd, I want to get you involved here, but at some point we have to hold the front office of this team accountable for the lack of depth, skill, drafting, development that has taken place on the defensive side of the football. You don't get credit for drafting Joe Burrow front office. You don't. You don't get credit for drafting Jamar Chase. Okay? You don't get credit for drafting T. Higgins. None of that you get credit for. The defense is the free agent Frankenstein of this team, and it's bad. It's terrible. What the fuck are we doing? I don't have any answers anymore, man. We're slow. We're old. We don't want to tackle. We don't want to hit people. We don't want to get fucking physical. We can't hang with anybody. You got Mike Hilton getting fucking roasted like a marshmallow on a regular basis. What are we doing? I don't get it anymore, Todd. I don't know what the fuck is happening, man.
I think it's kind of a fairly simple explanation. It's just a bad. It's just a bad defense. It's bad. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the explanation.
Logan Wilson sorely missed last week.
Yeah, out for the season. Doesn't matter at this point. Doesn't matter. It's erroneous. This is a bad NFL defense. You have one good player on your defense right now.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. The secondary, worse than the NFL.
Yeah.
Opposite
Todd,
Trey
you might be
Hendrickson.
Like,
Please chime in, guys.
I was just
Yeah.
saying, I'm gonna hand the baton right back to Todd, but I think your defense is just worse than your offense is good. Like, just to put it as simply as possible.
Sure. I think that's. I mean,
Do you guys feel like the moves made over the last couple years with like getting rid of like Jesse Bates and then
Nope.
DJ Reader? And
nope. Nothing's been better. Nothing's been better. Nick Scott.
No, hold on. What were you going to say with that, Bobby? Hold on.
No, just like you guys like think if you still had those pieces, it would be a different story.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Nick Scott. Nick Scott and Geno Stone are okay. So Nick Scott last year, bottom 10 safety in the NFL. Geno Stone, the worst safety in the
Most
NFL.
missed tackles in football.
The worst safety in the NFL. Jesse Bates,
the best.
Leads the NFL in interceptions over the last 2 years. That's it. That's the conversation, dude. That's it. Like, there's not much more to that. Sheldon Rankins had a good game.
There's more
against Cincinnati last year, right? We remember that when the Texans beat the Bengals. Great game, 3 sacks. Is just sick. Can't play football. Too sick to play football.
Yeah, sure you are. He's getting cut. Also, Sam Hubbard is the worst pass rushing defensive end in football.
Sure.
He's a waste of space. He's a waste of space on the defense. I love Sam Hubbard. I love him. Cincinnati kid, want him to do well. He's not an NFL quality defensive end anymore.
How old is he now? Or how many years pro or old?
32. He's 32.
Year.
Yeah, because I feel like he always played above.
Man,
Well, he was a motor guy, right? Like he always played above.
He's a
his
run
skill
stopper.
because he had
He's a run
right,
stopper.
but
He was
but
never
I feel
a pass
like
rusher.
I feel like he played above his athletic profile. If that makes
So
sense.
Sam
And now
Hubbard
he just
in
doesn't have
his
the same
peak.
speed.
Sam Hubbard in his peak is a quarterback spy and a run stopper. That's
Yeah.
what he did very well for
Shut
Cincinnati.
the fuck up, Tez.
No, that's not true.
It's
Tez, you're
not
just
true.
wrong, buddy.
It's not true.
You're just wrong, buddy.
I
That's not
disagree
true.
with you on that, Tez. If you're watching anything that Joe Burrow's done this year, it's not even close, dude.
30 touchdowns, 5 picks. That drop mic by.
I don't know. Lamar's too inconsistent. Lamar's having a better
So-
year this year than he had last year, and last year he won the MVP, and which Dak Prescott should have won last year.
I think Burrow's having probably his best year as a pro. I think there's no doubt about that. If they were a winning team, he would, of course, be in the MVP conversation. That's just how the NFL works.
Yeah.
I also think there's a little bit to the stats where it's trying to plug a boat that is sinking. And I think his numbers are inflated a little bit in the
Fair.
sense of when you're always playing from behind, the defense is going to be playing in a different way. Like, I know what you're saying. Like earlier,
Sure.
you're like, oh, let's talk facts. They're the best offense. I do not agree with that. I think by necessity, they are putting up stats
More
against
points,
what
yeah.
they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But I also think they're playing in insanely different game scripts than best offenses. Like, I'm sorry, when the Lions are up 40 points in the second, third quarter, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but
No,
I
I'm
would
sorry.
take the offense.
Charlie's
No,
fine.
yeah,
don't get it.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
he's probably half asleep
Um,
texting in the chat.
No,
Yeah.
but like I will push back a little bit on like the best offense, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'm telling you, he is having his best season as a pro. There's certainly a give and take there, and he would be the MVP if you guys were even sniffing or like in the wild card.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's no doubt.
Technically
But-
still in the hunt.
Well, they shouldn't be. I just even if they somehow snuck in, it would be you know.
Yeah.
But I like it's frustrating, man.
Here's the thing. Zach Taylor's not going anywhere. You need to just go ahead and get comfortable with that. He's not being fired. It's not going to happen. If you think Zach Taylor's going to be fired, I'll tell you a little story about a man named Marvin Lewis.
I say who's his predecessor?
Also, let's all if you think Zach Taylor can't be the guy to help lead this team to a Super Bowl, they're one play away from it. So
Who's the better coach?
out of
Those two.
TBD,
No, you have to call it right now.
Zach Taylor.
You can amend it over time.
Right. If I had gun to my head, I have to pick right now. Zach Taylor is better than Marvin Lewis.
And is that because? Well, I guess Marvin Lewis.
I don't agree with that, but we can.
I was going to say
disagree.
I
quantity
think
over quality. I guess it was one solid playoff run. Well, two, I know, but like
okay.
got to
Well,
the
let's
Super Bowl.
give Zach Taylor
Marvin Lewis
16 years and see what happens. I guess
no,
two
it's
AFC championship
fair.
games.
I think
More
yeah,
playoff wins than Marvin Lewis has had ever.
The
Like, what- I
floor
don't
was
know.
higher with Marvin. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
What was higher?
The floor, like his floor of the team's floor, was. I think he was a
What
better coach.
Was it?
I would say so. Yeah, I think you guys have had wild whiplashes of seasons under Zach Taylor.
I mean, we've missed the playoffs under Marvin as well. I don't.
I know.
I mean,
I'm not saying.
there's
saying
a reason we were
they were
able
more
to
often
draft
than 8,
AJ
9,
Green
10,
in the
11.
top 10 like that. Like
I
that.
know, I know.
Yeah,
But
like-
I think they were more consistently an 8, 9, 10, 11 win team. But you're right. There's more.
there's more
There's
data
more
to pull
Marvin.
from there, and I think we're a little skewed as well with because of all the malcontent surrounding Zach Taylor currently. To say that Marvin is better because I don't get me wrong, I love Marvin Lewis, and I think what he did for the city of Cincinnati was really cool. But like,
Did he take game balls to bars though?
clearly didn't have what it took to elevate that team, and I don't think that's like Zach Taylor's been to 2 AFC championship games. Like if you told me that Marvin Lewis had won a playoff game, I would have a different conversation, but he didn't. It never even happened. And Zach Taylor's won 2 division titles in 5 years. Like that's he's on He's on a path. And let's be very clear that the remedy is not so far gone. The remedy is not like there's a lot that the Bengals can do to, one, maintain this offense, cut a lot of dead weight in cap, and maintain the players that they have on offense, even if that surrounds franchise tagging T. Higgins again for a second year, even if that's what has to happen. You can cut a lot of dead weight and just go out and buy better defense and draft primarily defense. I think there's a lot of concerns at left guard as well. We can touch on that on another day, but I don't think the solution is that far away. If it was, we wouldn't be as close as we are in a lot of these football games. I don't think they're that far removed from being a top-tier football team again. It's just they're not good right now, and they clearly need something to change. And I think Lou Anarumo will be on his way out. Zach Taylor will stay. So. Why are we talking about rushing yards with a quarterback? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Tez. It doesn't matter.
I will say I did pull up the stats in regards to touchdowns, completion percentage, things like that. They are like dead even.
Okay, who do you want? Who do you want right now? Who would you rather have?
I mean, I would rather have Joe Burrow.
Thank you. Aaron, what about you? Who would you rather have?
I think you're having a different conversation than what you were having with Tez.
Just because I think Joe Burrow fits in better with our offense
Who's
as
better?
opposed to a mobile quarterback.
I think now what Corey's asking is if there was a fantasy draft that happened tomorrow, who would
not fantasy football.
First?
That's
but Lamar Jackson.
No. I'm saying if the
Lamar.
NFL,
If
like in Madden, when you do a throw everybody in the pool.
You got to start your franchise with a quarterback.
Yes,
you can only
that's
pick
what I'm
between
saying,
Lamar
right,
and Joe Burrow. Who are you taking?
Right. That's again an entirely different conversation. Of course I'm taking Joe.
Yeah, I'm taking Joe Burrow.
Yeah, it's like they're. I would say 90% of.
I'm just saying, statistically
people-
speaking, which is where Tez is coming from, they're not that different.
But when you say who's been the best quarterback,
But
this
when
year,
you look
I
at
think
when you look
Tez
at the
makes
when
a
you look
great
at the eye
argument.
test, like, you know, I love Lamar's
so
escapability.
much fun to watch.
It's a great thing to watch, but like,
Fucking hate him.
Yeah, fuck that.
it's
guy.
also
I
annoying to have
called
to
it
deal
from
with
the
it twice a
rooftops.
year.
Like Corey, you remember that draft? I was like, I don't know who, but he will be in the AFC North, and he will be a thorn in my balls for years.
Yeah, the Ravens traded up to 32, and we both were just like, "Are
Can you believe the Ravens almost didn't bring him back?
I don't know if that was as close to not bringing him back as it seemed, but we talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
He didn't have an agent.
Is his mom doing his
No,
negotiation?
No, it's
he-
just him.
That
Him,
was just-
yeah,
he's
self-represented.
Yeah, she's the paralegal, but like, yeah, he's stamping the paper.
Bill Belichick, Bengals DC next year, baby.
It'd be an interesting dynamic. I don't know if Bill Belichick could answer to anybody else outside of the outside of yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Taylor, we're good.
that would be a weird
Hey,
power
Bill, is
dynamic.
it okay if we do this?
What do you think we should do here?
Be a great mentor.
I mean, he'd be a great person to have on the sidelines. I just don't know if he
Run the
could
damn
swallow.
ball.
I could see Bill Belichick coming in and Zach Taylor like taking a sidestep and just being the OC.
No.
I'm saying that would make the most sense if you're going to bring a
He'd
guy
be like,
Belichick
"Nah,
in.
I'm out." He's like,
Yeah, you say fuck you, I'm done. Yeah.
"I'm done."
Yeah. No.
I think there is legitimate concern though about like the team's belief in him as a head coach.
I do still have a couple talking points if it's okay with
Yeah,
you
please.
guys.
Yeah.
We kind of sidebarred here, but I had a couple things to say if it's okay if everybody still has a little bit of time. You know, I'd like to talk a little bit here. I'd like to have a little conversation.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
How's that wine bottle looking?
I didn't want to
It's done.
start it off, Todd. So
Yeah, a little
let me be
loud.
very clear. I didn't have anything prepared. So I was kind of
No,
hoping
so-
you were going to lead us off.
Yeah, it's okay. I was too scared too. I'm kind of soft.
Not when I take my shirt off.
So I think just kind of we've alluded to, and I think even like Charlie kind of said it here, is Zach Taylor is really easy to blame because it's always really easy to blame the head coach for blunders. This is a drafting problem on the defensive side of the ball. I'm sure.
Facts.
Sure, we're kind of there, right? Joseph Asai was a 3rd-round pick 3 years ago. Bust. Miles Murphy was a 1st-round pick 2 years ago. Bust. The things that we've done to draft interior offensive line, edge rushing help, has been no help.
Failure.
I mean, Cody Ford played left guard last week, fellas. It took the Bengals 3 years and 13 weeks to figure out that Cordell Volson should not be a starting left guard. Jesus Christ. That's too long.
Yeah.
So I think if we're talking about guys that should not be coaches on this coaching staff anymore, I think we have to talk about Frank Pollock no longer being a member of this coaching staff. That has to be a part of this conversation, right? Alex Kappa is the worst right guard in the NFL. I understand that he's a free agent signing and we brought him in year 1. He was fine. Cam Hayward absolutely destroyed Alex Kappa from snap 1 to snap 63.
That's a really good point that you bring up. Whose fucking idea is it to pull a guard and not block Cam Hayward on a goal line play? Whose fucking call is that? What are you doing?
So, I don't know. So my whole point is,
You don't think he's been in the league since Vietnam?
Cam
think he's
Taylor
gonna
looked like he
recognize that?
was running after that fucking turkey on the table.
You don't think he's
Yeah,
going to reckon?
it's-
Oh, pulling guard. Let me just follow this guy and I'll make a tackle
Yeah.
for loss.
it's just I think I really liked what Frank Pollock sold 2 years ago.
Glass eaters.
I liked it a lot. I haven't seen Cordell Volson improve, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. He's a very good run blocker. He's the worst left guard and pass protection in the NFL. Alex Kappa is the worst right guard and pass protection in the NFL. Ted Karras is not the worst. Like, the captain of that offensive line is a top 15 center in the NFL. This is not like Karras is towards the end. The interior offensive line's bad. We haven't done anything to address it. It hasn't gotten better. Cody Ford's not the answer. He's a stopgap. Drafting a guard in the 6th round or 5th round next year is not the answer. Like, there has to be real legitimate decisions that have to be made in the next couple of years. And I don't think Frank Pollock's a part of that.
Roger that.
I don't disagree, and I won't, like, why is Duke Tobin getting a free pass to just have tenure?
He's not.
'Cause
That's
it's a dope
that's my last point that I'm getting at is this is the worst scouting department in the NFL. Okay, let me rephrase that. This is
name. You call me Tobin?
the skinniest scouting department in the NFL. Was it six scouts for the Bengals, right?
League
Is that
minimum.
right?
It?
League
They have
minimum.
6 scouts.
Yeah,
League
6. So
That's-
maybe you miss a thing or two. Regardless,
Sorry.
Duke Tobin is not the answer for picking talent for the Bengals. I'm sorry, it's not there. I can't live in a world where rounds 5 through 7 are where you make your money, right? Like, I can't be like, oh, well, you drafted Chase Brown. Great. Thank you. Thanks for getting me a running back too in an offense that throws the ball 45 times a game. And I'm not knocking Chase Brown. He's been very effective, right?
He's really
I'm not
good.
trying to like
Yeah, but he
create
won't
this
be in
illusion
3
that he's
years.
not effective.
Like, it's just the running back position.
But
Maybe he will.
my point being is that if you continually miss 4 out of the last 5 years in rounds 1 through 3, it can't be the same guy making those decisions anymore. It just can't.
Yeah.
It can't.
Sorry, I'm
You
not
can't
doing
keep
that.
you can't keep asking for edge rushing help and then you bring guys in and then they don't get any better or they regress. Or Miles Murphy regressed. I'm sorry. I watched him at Clemson. And I understand college football and the NFL is significantly different. But at the bare minimum, he hasn't gotten any better. And, him blaming himself for being in combine shape versus football shape, that doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
It didn't matter, right? It's not like you could take Sam Hubbard out and be like, we'll take care of it, right? We can bring somebody in and, we'll get pressure on the quarterback. It gets worse.
They need playmakers, man. They don't have any playmakers outside of Logan Wilson and Trey Hendrickson. They don't have any playmakers on.
And BJ Hill. BJ Hill's still a playmaker.
Yeah,
He's a
he gets banged up a lot. He's at the end of his career, which is no knock on him.
Right.
He's doing everything he can, and he still has an impact. I will say Chris Jenkins. I have a lot of faith in Chris Jenkins. I think what I'm seeing out of him so far is good. I like it, but it's just. And a lot of this at the same time is it boils down to a lack of willingness to spend some fucking money, dude. It's the same story for the last 25 fucking years, man. It's the same story, and it's so frustrating because you have what you need. The hardest part, you've got it. You've got the hardest part of building a franchise is having an elite quarterback. Not many teams have it. There's not a lot of elite quarterbacks out there, and you got one. Do what it takes to get the fucking trophy, whatever it is. And the nepotism that exists in that front office won't allow it.
I don't know how you can say they don't spend money. I crossed the bridge this past weekend. They got that little bubble thing up.
That nice bubble.
That wasn't free.
Hurt near. The ad space that they sold it out.
That's tax dollars at their work, my friend.
It's Hamilton County, baby.
If you could just combine the Bengals and Browns, we're spending too much money over here.
Yeah, dude.
We just don't know how to fucking spend it.
Seems to be a national.
It's a real problem. We have just throwing it around. It's like the cash machine at like the fair, and it's let it out. But
it is fun. It is fun. Well, it's funny now how, right? Like we've seen the Bengals over the last 3 years that have some pretty good success, and now we're starting like. Obviously, like I want Andrew Whitworth to tell the story that he has, right? That story that he came out about him and Mike Brown sitting down together.
It's disgusting.
But now it's coming back to Carson Palmer, right? We had the Carson Palmer interview from 12 years ago.
Dude.
And now the illusion is that the Bengals are cheap again, right? It's never been different. Like it's a poverty franchise, right? That's what we live with in Cincinnati. But I don't know, man. I'm tired of people trying to find excuses for a mismanaged franchise, right? That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. I'm just tired of people trying to find reasons that aren't reality. This is the shit that we've been living with, Corey, our whole fucking life, dude.
Yep.
And now that they had a couple good years, now it's a national thing, right? Now they have Joe Burrow, it's a national thing. We've seen this since we watched football, and people are like, "Oh, I can't believe Mike Brown is so bad."
Here's me at 4 years old,
just selling your soul.
I'm bringing my son into it.
Right, that's how I feel. But Declan wears a fucking Bengals jersey every Sunday, and I feel like there's times where I'm like, I don't feel bad. Like I want him. I can't let him.
It's about more than that. It's about watching the game.
Yeah.
Play.
Yeah, I can't let Bobby put him in a Steelers jersey or something.
Well, you don't want him to be gay.
I mean, he could.
Be gay. I'm just kidding.
Whoa,
but
God, we're past 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're just at a point where we're trying to make excuses for something that's never changed. And I'm past it, man. We talked, Corey. You know, we talked about it. Like I'm tired. I'm tired of it, man.
Yeah, man. It's frustrating because but again, you just keep pulling it back to the main thing is like you got the hardest part figured out. You've got that. There's no questions about it. Can Joe do things to be better? Absolutely. Tez made a point I don't necessarily agree with, but there is something in there that a lot of these sacks are on Joe. You gotta get the ball out. But that's where I get back to the scheme part of shit. And the play calling needs to be better so whether there is an option available, that the play drawn up and the routes that are available to these wide receivers are getting them open.
Corey, you trying to tell me the best offense in the NFL needs to get better?
The reason that they're the best offense is because of Joe Burrow. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Play calling needs to be better. It's really, I understand it's hard for you to understand.
It's so hard. If you could spell it out. Actually, just text me because I can read it.
Yeah.
I'll ignore it.
You
I'll
can
keep it
read?
up later. No.
Voice, text to voice.
All right. Boys, I think that's a podcast.
No, we gotta end on something better.
No.
We have to end on something better.
Corey, did you hear that John Kitna's son is decommitted
Gay.
from UAB, is now going to Bowling Green?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he did.
Are you serious?
Today. Yeah, he committed.
Bro. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
We're
If
back.
you don't know who this guy is, this kid was one of the highest recruited fucking quarterbacks coming out of high school. He caught some shit for some essay allegations.
Not him. Not the older one.
Oh,
There's one in
dude,
high
I was like,
school.
are
Chat
you
GPT or
fucking
something?
kidding me?
No, he's in jail. That one's in jail.
No, he was.
Oh, he's out?
Yeah, he was acquitted.
Okay.
Acquitted
All right.
for
Well,
what?
so he has a son that's a senior in high school in Cincinnati at Lakota East. Was fully committed to UAB and is now decommitted and is now going to Bowling
He
Green.
flipped him.
So there's something there.
We are fucking back, baby.
Yeah.
At least you'll see Kitna on Tuesdays.
Oh,
Tuesdays with John. That's a new podcast. Tuesdays with John.
Here we go.
I got to assume his son can spin it.
All right.
He's good. He's talented.
Anything on Saturday? Lot of big football games tomorrow.
Georgia beats Texas again tomorrow.
Ooh, I'm going to disagree with you.
What's on the line, boys?
Pride. Oregon -3. Penn State is the easiest slam that you could ever have. Oregon is going to absolutely fucking dog walk Penn State in Indianapolis. Yeah. It's James Franklin. I mean, come on. What else do we have to say here? He's a terrible coach.
The Franklin song always just plays in my head.
Dude, he's never had a losing record, so you got to give him credit for that. He can't. Why are we giving Penn State credit? They didn't have to play Michigan or Ohio State this year. They're not a good football team.
Sure. Yeah.
Scatterbo 3 touchdowns against Iowa State tomorrow.
Hey, you know what I learned today? SMU's in the ACC. I learned that today.
Yeah, they're gonna get a bye in the college football playoffs. Isn't that wild?
That is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really think of Texas as the Atlantic coast, and that might, I don't think 8.
Hey, Aaron, man, there's actually only one ocean, man. All the water's connected, man.
Well, also, SMU hasn't had an accredited college football program since the 70s. So,
yeah, they just came back.
Yeah, since Eric Dickerson was there, they've been on the blacklist. So,
they're a real rags to riches stories for SMU.
Back to rags and back to riches.
What are we doing?
I don't know, boys. I think that's our.
I feel better. I feel better ending it now.
Cool.
Thank you.
Tez, as always, dude. Thank you for all the comments and the.
I disagree with what Bobby just said.
Well, fuck you.
I just can't. I love you.
Thank you.
Tez.
Thank you for participating, Tez. We definitely enjoy your feedback week in and week
I
out.
love you, Tez.
Same to you, Pops, and everybody else who popped through and stop by. We'll be back next week. We're gonna try to get back on regular schedule for Wednesday. If you guys like Fridays better, we might be able to make that work. I don't know. We can talk about it. But we'll kind of take it from there. We'll see you guys next week. Best of luck to your teams and have a wonderful weekend.
Corey, what are your
Deuces.
thoughts on Trevor Lawrence?
So let me tell you about this.
No, we're not fucking doing this right now.